Hello, Rumble Land and YouTube Land. This is Larry Barnett coming to you live and in color from Springfield, Ohio. Going to be the next stop for ice, I think, anyway. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm just going to talk about some things in current events while I get used to doing live broadcast. This is a first for me, so um, I'm sure I'm going to have a hiccup or two along the way, but if you would, just please say hello and let us know that you're out there. If you haven't followed me yet, please follow me. I want to be able to continue these live streams and talk about the news that's affecting us locally as well as nationally. Now, as many of you probably already know, the Haitian population within um, our city, Springfield, is somewhere between 18 and 20,000. Some of the chief complaints from the citizens of Springfield are that the city offices are just overwhelmed. And they are. It doesn't matter if you go to Job and Family Services, doesn't matter if you go to the hospital or the Social Security office. It's called a mass migration, I guess is what the left wants to call it. I call it an invasion. That's a lot of people. But either way, it's created a lot of turmoil here within um, uh, oh, I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, the truth is coming to a head. I fear that what's going on in Minneapolis is going to be um, a mirror copy coming to Springfield. I'm encouraging all my friends or the people who know me. I don't have many followers yet, so can't say that. Um, Springfield is a powder keg. Both sides are dug in, both sides are entrenched on this issue. And when TPS is lifted, um, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe ice won't be in here until spring. We don't know. We do know that the media is going to be here when TPS expires. What to expect, we don't know. So we're calling on the mayor, city manager, and the commissioners to put heads together and figure out a peaceful way that solves this. Here's my problem. I wrestle with um, what to do to the Haitians. I have internal conflict. I'm an independent voter. I listen to all sides, and then I make a decision. I don't allow media to form my opinion, which is what so many people do. Uh, think for yourself. Think for your community. When TPS expires, the media will be here. Protesters, I'm sure the paid ones will be here. I've received some information that they came here on a damn bus. I know that they were at one rally or whatever it is that they call it that they do in front of the city building. With the same garbage rhetoric. They cannot give you a good reason why the worst of the worst shouldn't be a problem. We should all want criminals out of our city so our streets are safe for our children. And in my event, I'll give away my grandchildren and great grandchildren as well. Folks, there's coming a day of reckoning with this, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think anybody can actually tell you with any semblance of continuity what's gonna happen. We're gonna, um, we're gonna continue to keep a light on it. Now, I'm gonna ask you this: don't don't buy into a lot of the media hype. People like Donham, he's not a journalist; he's not a reporter. He's a commentator. There's a big difference when you interject your opinion into the facts of what you think they should mean. It means you're just as liable as anybody else. When you went in that church with those people, that makes you just as responsible. And I hope you never try to insult America's intelligence by telling them that's journalism. There's a reason why church and state are separated. You, my friend, are one of the reasons. Let me find my here. I can get on. Okay, that's a little bit better. But if you are gonna, damn, that echoes loud. Check, check. No, doesn't have to be. But whatever side of the fence that you're on in this particular discussion, I want to hear from you. I'm not a big buddy agreeing with me. The truth of the matter is, it's coming. I don't know what to expect, but it's coming. Spoke with a reporter here from the Dayton Daily News day before yesterday. I'll put his name out for privacy reasons. And that Springfield is going to be inundated with media and paid protests. I don't know if they're getting the cart before the horse. That doesn't mean somebody's going to tell ICE when they should come into Springfield or not. They're going to make that decision for themselves. Now, while all this fighting and arguing and fussing and carrying on, then um, get your information firsthand. Springfield, I'll share every fact with you that I can, and it's according if I can build this stream up. But um, we'll see what happens. You council meeting, I think, is coming up tomorrow for Springfield, and I'm afraid it's going to be another shouting match. I'm a mediator, folks. I stay in the middle of issues for a variety of reasons. When I want to make a decision, I want an informed decision. As an independent voter, I have an obligation to listen to everybody and then draw my own conclusions. Now, the Haitian population was said not to have come here under the temporary protection status, but were given the protection status. Uh, so they're still until February the 3rd, they're still under TPS, and that's going to change. That's going to change. Uh, TPS, folks, is relatively a contract between the immigrant and the federal government. You're told that you have to seek legal citizenship while you're under TPS. Now, the question is going to be, is that happening? I don't think that they're going to get a lot of the worst of the worst from here, and here's my reasoning why. Springfield, according to some, have become a local hub for illegal immigrants. They basically come here, suck up all the freebie stuff that they can, alright, and then they move on. They don't contribute to the community. They're not part of the discussion other than the fact that they use Springfield, alright, to further their own life. I understand, with Somalia, it's people that don't have a government and are just third world countries that are existing. These people have had to lie, steal, cheat, kill, whatever it takes to uh, give them their survival. You know, you don't think, and this is directed towards my city commissioners who I have deep respect for, but what were you thinking? Thinking these people are not going to bring their culture into our culture? It's happening all over the United States. If you follow James Empty Pockets podcast, you're going to see that uh, there's a lot of issues with immigrants, illegal, legal. I don't care what verb you want to use with it or noun, whatever the hell it is. That's up to you. Um, but enter into a contract with the government, you are supposed to be making every effort that you can at that point to get your citizenship legally. That's not happening. If we have people here that have gone through the process and are legal, I haven't heard from them. I've heard a lot of chaos. I've heard a lot of the shouting matches that go on, and that's it. Tomorrow's city council meeting is probably going to be, I'll get a live stream eventually for that. I'm share the screen on as I'm trying to learn this. Um, I have to make a little bit of due diligence here. I am the owner of newsfromlarry.com. That's where you're going to find information pretty much basically on the governor's race. And everybody's looking over this. Dewan is going to be in office. Ramaswamy seems to have a good lead here, but he's not for Ohio. Ohio is only a springboard for him so he can run for president again. Ohio doesn't need a billionaire. What we need is somebody with cold, calculated responses. Somebody that's going to go in and take this big, nasty bull by the horns and wrestle him to the ground. People are angry in this town. They're angry because there's a different set of standards for the Haitian community as opposed to us that's been here a while. Now, I'm not an original resident. I've been here about 30 years, and I love this city. I've met some of the greatest people in the world here, and I've also met the other side of it, and the hate and the rhetoric and the vile spews that they come out of their mouth with and saying that they are advocates advocates for the immigrants. They deserve to be able to stay here. They deserve to get their citizenship if they want to stay here. Wake up. If you don't file for citizenship, then you shouldn't be trying because you're fixing to go back to your country or another country. At least I hear that that pretty much sends you wherever that you want to go. Um, has that happened here? I haven't heard a lot about. I haven't heard a lot about the Haitian community here that's uh, taken voluntary deportation. Have to look into that for yourself and see. You're going to find out it's on both sides of the spectrum. Minneapolis, a prelude So what's gonna happen in Springfield? Well, that's a tough question, but it's valid. Second, what do you do with the Haitians that are here already that are contributing to the community? I can't get a good answer on that. It seems like everybody's got an all or none mentality, and I understand that. I clearly do because I'm a firm believer that in immigration enforcement has been a back burner for entirely too long. And if you're wanting citizenship, then go do it the right way. No sense, no sense in the world of figuring that you should be allowed to do what you want to do with your status the way that it is currently. Came to the United States because you wanted a better life. Came to Springfield because you wanted a better life. And supposedly there jobs and other things that drawed the process here. And I still haven't got a main answer, and hopefully somebody will watch this that can give me an answer. Is to how they got here to begin with. How did I'll give you the benefit of the I'll say there were 5,000 that came here originally. How did they come here? My reporter contact had basically told me that they came here on their own. I have a fundamental problem with that. I can't find anywhere where 5,000 people who don't know each other personally all descend upon Springfield at one time. This had to have been worked through a, a a mediator with the state that allowed them to come into Springfield, folks. It breaks my heart, and I'm not gonna lie, it does. It breaks my heart to, see friends, at each other's throats over this thing. Um, I'm gonna continue to seek answers. I'm gonna continue to try to talk to the, uh, commissioners and understand where they're coming from, and I'll bring that to you unedited. Here's the way that you mediate something. The first thing you do, you gotta get both parties in a room so they can talk. All I've heard so far is yelling and screaming and talking over top of each other, and that's not gonna solve anything. The feds are gonna do what the feds are gonna do, and sometime after that, Springfield will have to get back, into its niche again because the Haitian community is drawing a lot of attention. And I guess I'll say we're a third, we'll see just how much attention that they're drawing. But if, if you're a proponent or opponent of what's going on here in Springfield, Minneapolis, let me know. If you've got a, uh, particular complaint, if you've got something that you wanna get off your chest, here it is. Now, I do run a veterans channel called Veteran Affairs with Larry Barnett, and we do discuss, veteran issues, but wherever the topic takes us, it takes us. This week, we're gonna talk about if you're not real busy, go to, Empty Pockets Podcast on Saturday, at 3 PM, 2 or 3 PM. 3 PM, and we talk about veteran issues. We try to leave the politics out of it because our veterans have paid their price. Um, they're not required to be in this muck and this mire that we have going. Veterans have a very, very strong opinion. I don't talk politics a whole lot with veteran friends. I've got one or two because it creates too much of a misunderstanding or unable to understand what the other side is saying. here's the thought, shut up and listen. Saying you're gonna agree with everything the opposing party says. I'm not telling you that, and that's not gonna happen. We all know that. But morality should lead us into a lot of answers for this problem here. Trump is coming after the worst of the worst. With that statement, I'm led to believe that those that are in this community that are contributing to the community, all right, should be allowed to continue that. How does that do for the Haitians that are actually working and paying taxes? I'm really split, and my friends, for the most part, disagree with me, but, if they're contributing to the community, why would we be going after them? It needs to be reiterated. If they're trying to make a life in this country, do it the legal way. Do it in such a manner, alright, that the United States can welcome you as a citizen the way that it does. Right now, all you're living in is fear. What happens the next day? February 3rd, what happens on February the 4th, if anything? Do you continue to work? Do you continue to provide for your family? Are you living in a bunkhouse? Which I'm totally against. Are you using Springfield simply as a standing off point for, going to other places in the country? Well, I'm glad you're out of Springfield. Springfield is not a hub. It'd be very curious to know how many illegals, whether it's Haitian, Mexican, Somalis, or whatever. And I'm just wrestling with folks, and I'll be doing hopefully more of these broadcasts um, that'll try to bring some healing. There's so much rhetoric, there's so much false information, and then there's other information that isn't false, all right, that you went out of your way to suppress. Listen, these things are real. We have children, we have grandchildren, and in my case, great-grandchildren. What kind of a world are we leaving to them? There, commissioners, look at what this is doing to the community, and let's look for answers that'll create a dialogue to where that this can be on the same page as everything else, and we're talking the same thing. So I'll continue to wrestle and listen to criticism that I get because if they're contributing to the community, um, why shouldn't they be allowed to go ahead and seek citizenship? That's the way I feel now. Change my mind. You can try to change my mind if you want to. You'll find that I'm very open, I'm very honest, and I'm very straightforward. This is my therapy, which I get into on my veterans broadcast. But let's talk just for a minute about the Somalis in Columbus, Minneapolis, whatever that it is. Um, what are your thoughts? I see a bunch of white people in Minneapolis uh, that are given ice fit, but they're still doing their job. But is what we're seeing unfold before our eyes, if what we're seeing is uh, just simply more of the same, then Springfield will become an exploded powder keg. And I'm so hopeful that the mayor and the city managers and the commissioners can get the rhetoric on this dialed down. There's gonna be people here that are undesirable. I'm not talking about patients, I'm talking about protesters. They were here for one thing, anarchy, to create chaos, to try to divide us. So be aware of that. If if they're committing fraud, they need to go to jail. And if they're not legal citizens, they need to be out of this state, out of this country. That's just how I feel about it. But um, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. As I said, this opinion I just shared with you will not be properly received more than likely. I'll catch a lot of heat over it, and that's okay if I do. Um, I'm well up for the challenge. But if I left a message with Mayor Rue day before yesterday. I have no agenda. I simply want this community to heal, let it go and grow with the potential that it's got. If you're stealing money from the government, you're going to be held accountable. These daycares that I'm seeing, and that's why I don't understand why these people riot when they know good and well that out of their own pockets have come billions upon billions of dollars. These daycare facilities or whatever the hell that they are getting federal money, and a lot of it. What about that Congressman Omar? Claims 25 million in her income tax form or disclosure form, whatever it is that they have to fill out. Where did that money come from? Mrs. Omar, please tell us, where did that money come from? I don't think you have a problem with it when they start investigating you. But to the rest of the community, I give the same argument. Why in the hell do you think that their culture and lifestyle is going to change just because the geography changes? Just because the geography changes does not change mentalities. People may have great intentions, and bully for them if they are. And bless them if they're walking within the laws set forth by this city, by this state, and by this country. But to open a business, how did they get away with it so long? You know, until that Nick kid kind of tipped the bucket over when he went into Minneapolis. Um, I was left shaking my head. Minnesota knows the money that has been stolen from them, and they don't care. All they care about is protecting these criminals and keeping ICE from doing its job. And soon it's coming to a city near me. Gonna close it out now. Try to keep these about 30 minutes for the most part, so hopefully I'll get to build up a following. Please, if you haven't followed me yet, follow me at L Barnett, BARNETT 777. And I also, like I said, I also have the 3 o'clock on Saturdays. We have Veteran Affairs meeting and talk about veteran issues. But like I said, when current events, when they affect a veteran, you need to hear it because most are well thought. All right. Most are very wise about what answers that they would give. And guys, the veteran community, at least here in Springfield, is everything I've heard is advocating for complete removal of them all. They don't want any of them. Is this majority of veterans? I don't know. I've only talked to a few, but I try to get a feel for um, what's around me. I'm going to continue to work in the veteran community to see if we can help with our little way of something that's going to tone down the hatred and the statements that are being made. Folks, we live in a difficult time, and what we're doing now is we're going to be passing it on to the next generation. If you have a Muslim population, the only goal is to convert the entire United States into Muslim. I heard it from their own mouth. They're not going to stop until the United States is controlled by. Someday we'll get into. Leave it at that. Folks, please give me a follow if you would. Uh, we're going to be talking about a lot of issues as this week goes along. We're probably going to stay on the Springfield story since Springfield is next, supposedly on the list. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But folks, listen to me and listen to me good. Hate is a cancer. Hate will consume you just like a cancer will. Now, I'm not talking about those using logic, wisdom, and common sense. I'm talking about those people who hear somebody say these things about immigrants and don't know what they're talking about. Stop with the arguing and the screaming at these commission meetings. Let's look for a solution. There is one, I'm certain, somewhere. So give us a follow. Let us know on Saturdays. Try to get there about 3 o'clock. Names from Empty Pockets podcast sponsors me on that particular show, and we appreciate James. I'm going to have him on here soon as a special guest and some of the goings on here in Springfield. He's well versed on, very intelligent man. I'm also going to talk to see if I can get Big Tony. He's another one out here in Rumble Land that's got a decent following, got a good head on his shoulders too. Don't agree with him totally 200%, but the direction he's going is the direction that I'm going. So I'll kind of leave that. But Big Tony is better experienced than he is told. So I'm gonna ask him if he would join us on these live feeds. I'll close out by saying the same thing. Do not buy into the media hype that's fixing to come here to Springfield. Stay close, follow those that actually live in town. We will be able to separate fact from fiction for you. So you'll know what the truth is. And then you can make an informed decision. You don't have to make a decision off the cuff because some news anchor said it. Think for yourself. Look at the situation on both sides, and then make an informed decision for yourself. This is Larry, newsfromlarry.com and Veteran Affairs with Larry Barnett. I thank you for looking at me. I see a couple of them out there, so I did better than what I thought I would my first broadcast. This is my first. So this is my therapy. I have PTSD pretty bad, and this just sort of help. I know I'm talking to a computer screen, but I feel like I'm talking to the entire state and nation when I'm on this, and I enjoy that. So We'll be back with a lot more information, and you folks have a great day. This is Larry. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. God bless you, folks.